Bojo, Wabananongo Kwe Disnikas. My name is Sarain Fox, and I'm from Batchewana First Nation of Anishinaabe near Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. I'm a mother, an activist, and an artist. As a queer Indigenous person, I know what it feels like to live at the intersection of queerness and indigeneity, to be a shapeshifter. It's an identity that's layered, and to be honest, I've always wanted to dive deeper into my own story, my community's stories. It would be an understatement to say that Indigenous people have been through a lot in the last few hundred years. The same can be said for queer people. Today, things are changing, but still, we are searching and uncovering our truth. It goes without saying that being queer and Indigenous comes with its own history, its own teachings, and a lot to unpack. It's been a hard road for many. Since becoming a mother, and now with another on the way, I feel a pull towards needing to better understand this part of who I am, for myself and for future generations. So I'm setting out to connect with First Nation, Métis, and Inuit members of the 2S LGBTQ+ community, from one end of Turtle Island to the other. I want to know more about who our queer ancestors were pre-contact. I want to learn more about the impacts of colonialism on gender and sexual identity in our communities, and how people are working to reclaim what's been taken away, and what we can do to make more space for future generations of queer Indigenous youth.
Honey. Can I give you a hug?
So good to see you.
So good to see you.
My journey begins at the home of the Henry family in Kettle and Stony Point First Nation, Ontario. I've known Chief Jason Henry, his wife Cynthia, and their daughter Beni for quite some time now.
No projects on the go, Cynthia? So clean in the sewing room.
Then there's my room.
Going into 11th grade?
Mm-hmm. Almost driving. Baby me. Here's me and my mom at a powwow. This one is the one that my grandpa did, and then that's the one that I got when I finished my berry fast. Me and all of my lodge family at a buffalo dance gathering. Right now I'm the senior Miss Kettle and Stony Point, so this is the crown that I wear. Miss Kettle and Stony Point Senior.
Beni is at the early stages of her coming out journey. She recently came out to her parents and a few friends. Over the course of the next few months, I will be following Beni as she moves forward in her coming out journey.
Are you out right now? What is it? What is your... What's your situation?
I'm out-ish.
Out-ish. What does out-ish mean?
I'm out to one of my grandparents, and the three I'm not. But I'm not private about it, I'm not secretive about it, other than those three grandparents. I really care about what they think about me. So that makes it more difficult.
Do you think that it'll change the way they feel?
For my grandma, possibly. But she's a 60s scoop survivor. Her mom was in residential schools, right? So there's a lot of intergenerational trauma, really just hardcore issues there that I know aren't really about me, but still hearing them hurts.
But it's because her homophobia is founded in some fundamental Christian beliefs and nothing but that, right? It's not, post-residential school kind of stuff, right? So,
when you think about coming out to her, do you really think in your heart of hearts that she would stop loving you?
No. I think that she'll always love me, but
she's gonna say hurtful things.
She's gonna say hurtful things.
That's her trauma.
Yeah.
She says hurtful things.
She says a lot of hurtful things.
You think?
We know. Yes.
I was waiting for it.
Oh, we know.
You just know.
Yeah.
What is it like to hear your parents talk about your queerness?
I think it's really crazy, to actually hear it.
Yeah.
Coming from being in a place before where I was yeah, that's never gonna happen. I'm just never ever gonna come out. It's just gonna hide for the rest of my life, to sitting there and hearing that. I remember when I first came out, I was talking to my auntie, and I was two big fears. Coming out to my grandparents and going back to the lodge. I was because the same thing with my grandparents about loving them so much and caring about what they think about me is the same feelings that I've associated with the lodge.
The Grand Chief wasn't just the Grand Chief to you, he was your grandfather,
Yes,
right?
he was. He was my day-day.
Your day-day.
Yeah. He was super kind and like always really loving. That was one of my concerns actually when I was thinking about coming out was seeing him, and I was unsure about coming out to him. And then he passed away. I was a little bit remorseful that I didn't get to like be myself for him, you know? Like I felt like I was hiding something from him. Like if anybody knew, it was him. So it was like a moment of like, I should have just been myself fully.
Before we go any further, I think it's important to explain the meaning behind the term Two-Spirit. It is used by many Indigenous communities to describe someone who has both masculine and feminine spirits. Many, but not all, Indigenous people identify as 2S. The term is rooted in sexual and gender identity pre-contact.
You know, there's histories of people who've traveled around the globe, Two-Spirit people, before Christopher Columbus. You know, there's these beautiful stories that give power, give love, and give courage to what is, I think, a really beautiful and sacred thing.
I've been doing a bit more research on the Blackfoot history. Apparently there was a two-spirited society, and we played quite an important role in the Sundance.
All of these clues we found in the language and through oral histories indicate what queer Indigenous people have always known, which is that we've always been here.
Being Two-Spirit is being sacred, and it's understanding that you're a servant of servants. You're really trying to help others who are trying to help themselves in some ways.
There were specific roles, and I think that that's important to understand.
Without the oppressive structures that existed, there's actually a far different relationship that the LGBTQ people, Two-Spirit people within Indigenous cultures played.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you, it is my birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
This morning, I'm back at the Henry household in Kettle and Stony Point. In a few days, me and Beni will be attending the Rama Powwow. For the first time ever, Beni is planning to not wear a skirt during the Powwow Grand Entry. This may seem insignificant to those who aren't familiar with the practices and protocols of powwow culture, but for Beni, who was raised a celebrated powwow royalty, and for her family, this is a huge step.
Can I ask you about the powwow? Because we're gonna walk a really thin line this weekend. Because you're not out.
Yeah. I'm not that concerned about all the people that are gonna be there. I think that they kind of all know, and if they don't, they're gonna know sooner or later, you know, because they're probably gonna wanna watch this. Yeah. Especially if one of their youth is in it, then people are gonna be interested in what's happening. People are used to me talking in public and speaking up for things that are really important to me, so I don't think it'll be a shock for people if I am doing what's gonna make me happy.
Yeah.
Beni is taking me to her old high school. As a closeted kid at the time, she experienced some very difficult moments here.
There it is, Hillside School. All right, ready? Hillside, huh?
I had this cubby.
You've outgrown it?
I've outgrown it a little. This is the grade 8 class right here.
Okay.
I was sitting here, we had an iPad cubby, right? You get an hour on there or something to do different projects, and you can change the lock screen. So they changed the lock screen to there's only 2 genders, being gay is wrong, stop being a all of these different things are on these iPads, and it's so messed up, right? Our teacher's mad, but he's not he's been more mad about other things. And that was maybe a couple days later, we're back in the classroom and we're still talking about it. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna teach next year. I don't know how I'm gonna hang out with those other gay kids. They're just too weird for me. And that's the teacher. I didn't know what to do. And I was kind of spiraling inwards, holy shit. Like, I can never come out. Like, if this is my community, if this is supposed to be my teacher, who I looked up to before then, you know, like I really thought he was a great teacher until that moment. I was like, if that's who I look up to, how am I supposed to be myself?
Talk to your friends, other people in your class?
Well, like most of them were all a part of it, you know? So this is the Ojibwe class. So I took Ojibwe here, and the trans kid, he took Ojibwe here. So this is where the teacher split the class in half, divided it, girls and boys. Boys go stand over there, girls go stand over here. And of course, he was like, well, I'm a boy, so he went and stood with the guys. And she goes, you were born a girl, God made you a girl, now go stand with the girls. Like, I'm really upset that that happened in the first place, but that happened here in the place where we're trying to reclaim what was taken from us, you know? That's what she did here. Like, creating that association with the language for him is really, really, really messed up, you know?
Teacher still teaches here?
She doesn't teach here anymore.
Why do you think it's an elder on our own territory that feels like this?
It's it's residential schools, all because of trying to colonize us, you know?
Okay, goodbye room. Goodbye trauma here. Only good things will happen here now.
Only good things are happening there now.
The water is just spectacular today, my goodness. Bright, bright blue. Oh yeah, there she is. There's your kettle.
Yep, there it is.
Benesi and I decide to drive out to the Kettle Point Formation to recreate an old photo of Benesi.
All right.
Yeah, this is the one. It looks so much smaller now.
There you are. Wow, I never noticed that giant cross they put there.
It's new.
On our way out, we notice a very large cross that was recently erected nearby. Another sign that the impacts of colonialism are still alive and well, right here in Benesi's community.
You know, I have to say, the impact of residential schools and Colonial Project on queerness is huge. I did a lot of research about first contact when two-spiritedness was there and very prevalent. The first conquistadors and the first explorers were like, oh my God.
Gender and sexuality were like the first things or among the first things that were attacked during colonization.
Things like putting two-spirited people to the dogs was common. So from the very beginning, two-spiritedness was eliminated. It was pushed underground. Right away, we learned very quickly that we couldn't be who we were.
And so two-spirit people and contact itself is a narrative all by itself. They brought the closet here. They showed people how to hide themselves. They showed and forced people to do those things at the cost often of sometimes their lives, but especially their dignity.
And then that continued through residential schools. It was like an extension.
I, have heard many elders tell me, their stories of being in residential schools, a lot of survivors, and a lot of the narratives that you will hear repeated are things like, oh, they separated me from my brothers and sisters. They cut my hair. They forced me to wear these things. And part of that is part of the trauma. And it's so jarring because that is, the colonizer imposing gender expectations, gender norms on people, gender binaries. And the reason why that was so traumatic is because that was not the norm prior to those moments and to those really violent, forcible impositions.
It's not an accident that so many of us are disconnected. It's part of the legacy of colonization. The impact of forced assimilation and the harm that has been done because of, the religious institutions around queerness.
Colonization very explicitly, very forcibly attacked gender as part of the project. And I think that it's why conversations about queerness are inextricable from conversations about indigeneity and colonization in this place.
To this day, it's still playing out. There are many individuals who are homophobic. And that is a direct result of the colonial project and residential schools.
The next stop on my journey is in Winnipeg, Manitoba, to meet with Charlotte Nolan, a 71-year-old trans woman and 60 Scoop survivor who understands the impacts of colonization all too well.
You know, people talk about birthdays. I've got 3. The day I was born, the day I had my surgery, and the day I changed my name.
From the age of 7, as a little kid growing up in the 1950s, Charlotte knew she wasn't quite like the other kids. Growing up, coming out as a trans woman felt basically impossible.
Society was quite racist at that time, quite homophobic, and quite transphobic. You knew that if you came out, you'd be hurt. People believed that we did not belong, that we should not be around. If we would have come on the day, we could have been beaten for that, you know. There was a lot of violence attached to being who we are. I had no real education. I had dropped out of school. I had been living on the streets and incarcerated a few times. That led to addictions, that led to street work, and a lot of violence attached to it. Every time that you'd go out on a date, you'd wonder whether it'd be your last one or not. The world wasn't ready for us back then, and I'm glad that we've moved forward. We haven't reached that full potential of who we are, but we've made such huge steps forward.
How's your morning?
Good. I've been up since 5.
Is that what time you normally get up?
Yeah.
Today, Charlotte and her friend Chantal are headed out to a piece of land that will be used for traditional ceremony for the Two-Spirited community. In the past, Charlotte and other members of the 2S community have been turned away from sacred and traditional ceremony because of how they identify. So this project is deeply important to all of them.
This land is about an hour away from Winnipeg. Having a land base gives you the opportunity to do so much programming that isn't available to our young people, you know. When I stop and think of how the government tried to destroy all of us Indigenous peoples, and here we are some 200 years later, we're not only still here, but we're flourishing. It gives me hope for the future for our young people.
Hey, Sarain.
Hi, Tansy.
How are you?
Welcome.
Oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
This is the land.
This is the land.
The end.
That's it, let's go. So, would you take me on a tour of the land?
Oh, definitely. Here we have raspberry canes, the Saskatoon bushes, crab apples, horsetail. You have arthritis, that takes away a lot of that pain, and it grows here everywhere. Many of our relatives have been turned away from other sun dances, and they haven't been made welcome. And we felt that we needed to do this. Our Two-Spirit children, they need a place to come to, and that's what the land's going to be for. We're going to do away with these patriarchal rules that people have put in place. There will be those that will disagree with the way we do our ceremonies, because at our Sundance, people will wear what they're comfortable wearing, whether it's a skirt or skirt, you know. People won't be segregated into male, female. We'll do it the way we are supposed to do it.
So good. How are you?
God, you look amazing.
Oh my gosh, thank you. This is amazing.
Right? Girls, sound and panic always puts it together.
I'm in Vancouver to meet with Necklumkamuk drag queen Ilona Verley. Ilona was a contestant on Canada's Drag Race. Since her appearance on the show, she's performed for audiences all over Canada and even appeared in Vogue. You know, you were sort of spiraled into the mainstream because you were on Drag Race.
Little Drag Race moment.
So how did that happen? What was that journey?
You know, I found drag through Drag Race, and that to me was kind of like the gateway to discovering myself as a trans person, a two-spirit person, was finding my feminine energy and accepting it, you know? And so I got really, really into drag and like just fell so in love with it. I got to the point where I would come home at the end of the night and take my makeup off and be sad. And I was like, why do I have to take this off? You know, and that was before I knew like how to say I'm trans. And that sadness was coming from like feeling like it was just this thing I'm taking off. Whereas like my trans identity isn't just a costume. And I found that through drag. And it's kind of at the point now where like my drag, my trans identity is just like so intertwined that I'm just like, I'm just me.
How does your indigeneity play into that? Like, how is that intersecting with all of this?
You know, for me, I met my drag aunt Jaylene Time when I started doing drag in nightlife, and she is an incredible two-spirit trans woman. And seeing her be so authentically herself had always inspired me, and I didn't necessarily know at the times, like, why is she so magnetizing to me, you know? And it's because I'm parallel to her in our journeys with our two-spiritness, our transness. And getting on Drag Race and having that moment of being like, okay, you're gonna be on TV, I was like, okay, I don't want to waste this platform just going and getting fame for myself and my art and whatever. I was like, this has to be bigger than me, you know? And it took me so long to end up at that place where I could be like, oh, I am trans or I am two-spirit, you know, and own my indigeneity and be proud of it. You know, I've lived it my entire life, but to be proud of it and not feel like I had to wipe past, I was like, that's what I want to inspire going on this show. Because I grew up and never had no one to look up to on TV like me. There was no queer natives on TV. That wasn't a thing, you know? And so I went to school and I did the white passing thing because I thought that's what I had to do, you know? And I lost countless years of experiences that could have shaped me into myself quicker if I had followed my background instead of hiding from it, you know?
I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure that you were the first person ever to show up in full regalia on Drag Race.
It was just a beautiful representation to me of femme, indigeneity, and queerness. There's a lot of people who were like pissed about it. You're like, you're sexualizing our culture. How dare you be in drag and do that? And I was like, okay, well, if you want to sexualize me in makeup and a wig, that's your colonial mindset that you're giving into. It's not sexual for me. You know, that's not what it was. It was a celebration of feminist indigeneity and queerness. That look was featured in Vogue, which was like so cool. You know, I never thought I would ever end up in Vogue, ever. Like,
you want to do this?
Yes! Should we cheers?
Yeah, let's cheers it.
Cheers.
All right.
Hello, y'all. Are you ready to take a trip into my head? I've tried to make my apartment look like how I feel. Everything in my house has got to be powder blue or it's got to go. This is my closet. Yeah, so my kitchen is very much not a kitchen. I don't really cook or do anything like that. So I store my fabric here. For the longest time, I had shoes in my fridge and shoes in the oven thing. But now I put the shoes up here on display. This is a little piece of art that my mom leather burned. It's a male and female figure, and it has my Indigenous name Naquintish on it, which means he, she believes it to be, which kind of really connects to my two-spiritedness and my duality. And my mom made this for me years ago when I was given my name, and it's really special to me, and I love my mom a lot. Yeah, I'm so thankful for my mom. She's like my biggest supporter. You know, I hear a lot of stories from my other friends who are queer and Indigenous, and they don't receive the same support. And it breaks my heart because I'm so lucky to have had my mom, and it just hurts me to know that my friends and other people don't get that same love that my mom has given me. It's not always like that, especially in the intersectionality of being queer and Indigenous. Yeah, I feel like my whole life I was always trying to find my people where I felt accepted. And I didn't realize that they were already there in my life. All I needed was a new, different perspective on my own situation and the people around me. And that came with growing up and finding myself and claiming my indigeneity and my queerness and my transness and just feeling free.
Today, Beni and I are at the Rama Powwow, where for the first time, she will be wearing pants instead of a skirt. This is an act that even today requires a lot of courage on Beni's part.
So my little girl is about to go in for tiny tots, first tiny tots of the day.
So exciting.
Do you remember that experience?
I do. I remember tiny tots.
And what is your relationship with dancing like now?
It's a little bit different. I think that I'm like trying to find where I fit in the powwow circle.
Yeah.
You know, like not trying to pretend to be anything or anybody else.
Yeah.
Just like working on being me fully, even in powwow circle or in ceremonies.
Okay. Well, maybe watching Mamatasin or getting in there, even if we run, we'll be able to catch
We
it.
will.
It might remind you of that original feeling.
Let's.
All right. Are you good to run with us, a little crew? Okay,
go here.
let's do it.
Go
We'll cut through
here.
here.
I identify as Two-Spirit, and I go by they, her pronouns. It hasn't been too struggling just because I'm surrounded by people that are more accepting with my sexuality, my gender.
And I was taught in the Northern Arctic that the kids chose their gender when they felt that they were ready. So there was actually what they would call today trans folks way before contact.
Sometimes you have to walk away from relationships because they're so destructive of who you are. I did have to walk away from my parents at some point, and waited for that relationship to settle.
I just don't think there was pressure on being a gender, because you look at like the residential schools and, you know, the segregation of like women and men and boys and girls, and, you know, so much of that like forced identification. It was carceral, it was abusive, it was demeaning.
How do you feel?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Were you nervous coming here?
I was like the whole car ride and like the night before.
Yep.
But I think once I got out there, it's different. But like the fact that I was in pants and wasn't wearing a skirt and like a big flowy dress that I had to wear.
So does it change the way your crown feels?
A little bit. Yeah. I feel like it looks more like queer representation than if I was just trying to wear what everybody else was, you know?
You do feel like royalty.
Yeah.
Queer royalty.
Yep.
It's not just something small.
Yeah.
It's the same story as when you cut your hair to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like these tiny moments that you're describing coming in.
Yeah.
Coming into your own identity.
Mm-hmm. It feels really good to present myself how I want to be seen. It's a moment of relief for me to be able to walk how I want to walk and to not be ashamed of how I want to look and how I want to act and dress.
Next on my journey, I'm headed to Edmonton to meet with Beni John and her mother, Rosa.
Danse Tawao. Hello and welcome. My name is Beni John. I'm Plains Cree and Taino from Kihiwan, Alberta. I'm an Indigenous queer two-spirit hoop dancer and grass dancer.
From a very young age, Beni knew she was special, and so did her mother.
She wanted to dance grass. She was only 10 years old. And we were like, oh my goodness, how are we gonna deal with this? So my husband says, you gotta go and talk to the men from the Grass Dance Society. And she went up to them and she said, I wanna be a grass dancer. And almost every single one of them said the same thing, do what's in your heart. I see it in you. I see it in you, some would say.
Despite being accepted by many community members, Beni still faces pushback. In the summer of 2022, one of Canada's largest powwows released rules indicating that dancers must be of the, quote, correct gender for each dancing category. This would mean that Beni would not be allowed to dance grass dance.
I was going through, I was like, okay, yeah, standard rules, blah, 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 blah. Wait, what is this? And I was like, wait, you have to dance your gender?
To have somebody just say that, it just hit me at home so much.
Thanks to Beni and Rosa's advocacy efforts, these powwow rules were quickly changed.
I just want to go and take part and be me and be complete at my ceremony, at home. And I think we're getting that. I think we're getting that because all across Turtle Island, Two-Spirit people had enough. Like, they're like, we're here, we're not going anywhere, we've always been here, it's just colonization. They tried. They really, really tried. You can't tear us down. Like, we're too solid and we're just too Indigenous,
The next stop on my journey is in Iqaluit, Nunavut, to speak with Joshua Kamanapik. He's fiercely connected to his culture and is a vocal advocate for 2S LGBTQI+ Inuit.
My name is Josh Kamanapik. I'm from Iqaluit, Nunavut. I work in conservation and I live with my partner Daniel and our wonderful little cat. Being LGBTQI+. I think that in Iqaluit, it's definitely becoming a lot more like the rest of Canada, but I don't think that's necessarily the case with other communities.
Today, Joshua has organized a discussion with members of the 2S LGBTQI+ community and its allies.
This talk that I wanted to bring forward isn't to bash people or demonize anybody. It's to bring some other perspectives because I feel like the vision for the future of Nunavut in our society is to be an inclusive one.
I feel like we know that some of the smaller communities are not as big or open-minded as Iqaluit, and so it's still not super safe all the time for queer people to make the news in positive ways.
For people to conflate Christian culture with Inuit culture is really upsetting because that's how strongly colonized even our leaders are. Our leaders who fought for Nunavut to be created, who fight for Inuit rights, still have internalized so many of the things, but because it's been happening for so long now, they have convinced themselves that it's our culture when it's not.
There's been times when me and Daniel will be sitting at a restaurant, and one time there was this really young guy that came from another community, and he just came up and talked to us, and he was like, wow, I've never met other gay people before. It's really nice to meet you, and that was so cool. My responsibility lies in visibility, showing that you can be a queer Inuk and still be loved by people. Being more welcoming to LGBTQ Inuit in our communities will just help us move forward to create a better future because I think that we're some pretty cool, awesome people, and it would suck not to have us. Yep. Yeah.
We should do fireworks this year. 16th birthday.
Your birthday.
Can I light them?
Oh my gosh. You are the most accident-prone kid ever.
Approximately a month has gone by since I last saw Benesi, And today, I'm joining her in celebrating her 16th birthday, along with her parents and Grandma Sue. Beni came out to her Grandma Sue very recently, and as expected, things went well. She has yet to come out to her other 3 grandparents.
Okay, we made it.
So why was it important, or why did you want us to come hang out here?
I thought it would be a good idea, you know, because I do talk about my grandparents a lot, to like actually see it. I decided, you know, I should probably tell some of my grandparents, and I decided that my Grandma Sue would be the easiest to tell. I ended up getting her to come over.
I could tell that she was, you know, struggling. So I asked her to come sit with me, honey, and I told her, you know, it's okay.
I was like, so I'm in a documentary, and it's about me being gay. And then I cried, and then Grandma Sue cried. And then she told me how much she loved me and how it didn't change anything.
What is the most important thing you want, that you want the world to see about this particular relationship with your grandma?
I love you, babe.
I think like the fact that, you know, it's just like, just so much love. I didn't think I was ever gonna come out to any of my grandparents. So when I finally did, and it was like met with love and kindness and just like full acceptance, it was amazing. It was.
I'll always be there for her no matter what. I mean, she knows I'd be there in a heartbeat no matter what.
She's my baby, so it's like I just feel for her. But I'm proud of her. Like, this is an amazing first couple steps she's making, and they're huge. They're big, big steps. They're not easy.
I know there's some more people you have to talk to about this, and we're trying to encourage her to do it in person and to kind of grab the bull by the horns.
I think it's important for all of us to know that there was this moment where this weekend was like building up to this thing, and we would get to see you in that space with your grandma bear. And maybe tell us why you made a new plan and why this plan and what you want to do next is the way you want your story to be told right now.
I changed my mind because I wanted to be in a safe space and it to be a happy thing. And coming out to her isn't a happy thing for her.
Is it a happy thing for you?
It's a happy thing for me.
I just think you're gonna be an amazing role model for all the other 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds gonna be watching this, you know? They're gonna look up to you, they're gonna be like, okay, maybe what I have in my head isn't as scary, and I'm able to like push through. Can we celebrate?
Yeah. So should we eat cake?
Let's celebrate!
Hip hip hooray! Beni's gay! Hip hip hooray! Beni's gay!
Did
Okay.
you have another one?
Oh, I think the blue is a dud. What do you want, some sprinkles too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
The end of my journey brings me back to where it all started, in Kettle and Stony Point First Nation. Over the course of our time together, Beni has made a lot of progress in her coming out journey.
Being myself fully has been scary. I came out to one of my aunties, and that was a really big step for me, like a huge step for me. And I was met with nothing but support and like acceptance and love. So like when I experienced that, my perception changed. My idea of what I thought it was gonna be changed. Saying that to people who I like really was concerned about, it got way easier. typically our women don't put bells on and breechcloths and, you know, and cuffs and dance like a grass dancer in front of the whole lodge, in front of my grandpa, in front of all my aunties. I did that. And I felt so good. I felt authentic and like real. I didn't feel like I was pretending anymore. And all of my aunties told me it was so beautiful to watch. So many people told me that it was beautiful and that it didn't feel out of place. It felt like it belonged. So like I want safe space, and I want people to feel that they can be who they are authentically from day one, especially in our lodges, in our ceremonies, and in our school systems. I think that I'm gonna help make that space. That's what I wanna do.
It's so important that we remember that not all of our experiences are the same, and that our individual journeys are ever changing. We are all on our own unique path. We've been here from the beginning. We've fought hard to survive all they've thrown at us, and we will keep fighting to reclaim our identities, all while preserving our culture. In connection with each other, with our community, I'm always reminded that we are shapeshifters. We are grounded in resistance and survival, transformation. I'm reminded of our songs, our dances, our teachings, our vital roles and responsibilities. We still have a long way to go, but if we stand together, the future is bright. The future is strong. The future, my relatives, is indigiqueer.